when you're wearing it, it feels like you're wearing a large raincoat.
Hello there! So this is Carlo from Flybubble, and I've got with me today
Liam from the Loft.
From the Loft, yeah, the Loft Workshop. A lot of people in the UK, pilots in the UK, will know the Loft Workshop as the number one, or certainly the most known service centre and repair centre in the country.
Yeah, most experienced, been going for a long time.
Going for a very long time. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the Skywalk Range X-Alps 3, the standard version, and the AV version. How are they? What's the difference? What's the reason to go for this harness, and what's the reason to go for that harness, other than the weight, which is the obvious thing?
Yeah.
And what are the differences?
I've had the X-Alps 2 for quite a while, and I've been flying. I love that harness. It's a popular harness for good reason. So when they brought out the new one, I was intrigued to see what it was like. I didn't want them to drastically change the harness. I wanted them to just take those little things that you think, oh, if only they did that, or if it had that. Because I think both harnesses tick the boxes that you want them to improve.
Because you're very much into doing the hike and fly races.
Yeah.
And so for you, the weight and stuff is really important.
Yeah.
As soon as you start moving at any kind of, like walking quite a long time, but as soon as you want to move at any kind of speed other than walking, that's when the difference in weight and also bulk, isn't it, start to really matter. That's where you really notice the difference, and the backpack as well, which we'll get on to.
Yeah, you notice the weight. Like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but if you can save a kilogram, that kilogram makes a huge difference over a day or 2 days, over the sort of distance in hiking up. A huge difference.
Range X-Alps 3 came out. You were kind of thinking that really wasn't exactly what you, as a hike and fly, very into hike and fly and racing pilot, wanted.
So what they seem to do,
that weighs about 2 kilos. It's still very light and very compact.
It's a fantastic harness, and it's incredibly light, but it's not quite as light as the X-Alps 2, the Range X-Alps 2. They took it and they made it a little bit more rugged, a few more pockets, and they sort of went down that road with it, which is good, and it's a fantastic harness, maybe more Volbiv like. Whereas what I was looking for was to keep it stripped down and super light and fast, like the X-Alps 2 was. I was kind of looking for this. And what they've done, you've got the best of, they've split off into 2 good choices. If you're looking to go fast and super light, I think this is brilliant. If you're maybe not looking for, really light material, but, maybe some Volbiv trips around the Alps or something a little bit more robust, that's still fantastically light. Still fantastically light.
And compact as well with the airbags, which just because that's, for me, that's the biggest advantage of the airbag, is it just goes right down and very, very light. Bit of faff having to inflate it and deflate it.
Yes.
Although they've improved the system on that quite a lot as well, haven't they?
A lot, yeah. The X-Alps 2 is a long tube that you blow up, and it's a thin tube, so it took a while to blow it up. It takes a while to let the air out. This is fantastic. It's got a wider hole, and it blows up quicker, and it releases really quick. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but again, it simplifies this harness, and that's one of the things that they've done, is just made a simple harness that works really well, even simpler, and work a little bit better. The airbag is a big improvement, I think.
I agree totally. For me, I have to say that, being really honest, it's like, I don't think I'm really lazy, but on the other hand, when I go to launch and to take off, I've got enough to think about, that I found the inflatables, that when you've got a tube to blow in, they do have their advantage, so we'll come to that. But it just took a while to blow up, and so it's a little bit more of a faff. And I'm kind of like a bit slow at getting ready as it is, so it's like adding an extra thing. I found I think for me it's a really big improvement, and I personally prefer to use the bag that comes with the Range X-Alps 3. For me, that's just perfect. I think it's brilliant. It fits the harness in really nicely, keeps it tidy, and then it is great for inflating it. For me, it's a game changer, actually, just in terms of usability.
So yeah, on the ground, start with this one. Obviously, it's an incredibly lightweight harness. The leg straps are incredibly skinny. So it's not going to be the comfiest thing on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's not many negatives with this harness, but one thing that I'll say with this is my previous harness, the X-Alps 2, was probably a little bit more comfortable on the ground, ground handling. The leg straps are a little bit sharper. This has got a slightly bigger seat that's a little bit bony, that we talked about. It kind of gets in the way a little bit, and it slides up, you know, in position when you're ground handling quite a lot. So I found that a little bit. It's fine for ground handling, but it's not designed as, you know, the best ground handling harness in the world. A little bit uncomfortable on the ground.
Totally agree. I think you've covered it all there. That's spot on. If you ground handle with this harness and you're standing too upright and it's breezy, then you're going to definitely get a real pinch. So, but that's your technique again. And the standard version I found very good for ground handling. Again, the straps are still quite thin, still a 2 kilo harness. So there are some harnesses with a bit wider straps that are more comfortable, but still, very good. And because of the lightweight, it's really nice for moving about, isn't it? So that's a really, you notice you kind of got a freedom of movement just from the weight.
If you're taking off and landing a little bit lower down and walking back up, you notice the lightness and the you know, compactness of the harness. When you bunch your wing up and you grab hold of your harness and you've got to walk back up, it's a lot easier with one of these than it is with, you know, a lot of other harnesses.
Let's talk about using the harness from takeoff and flying. So I have to say that I found both harnesses from takeoff. A key thing with different pods is getting into the pod. And I found them both really easy to get into. How about you?
Really easy. The same as the previous X-Alps 2 harness. Really straightforward to get into. Oddly, when I didn't blow up the airbag, it was difficult to get into, actually. I don't know what that does to the sort of skirt behind you, but I found it easy to get into, but when I forgot to blow up the airbag, I was struggling to get into it.
It's a good point, actually, because that would then not stretch out the material, and so maybe it sort of then doesn't sort of stretch it out and make it easy to get into.
It was hanging back more when I didn't blow up the airbag. So blow up your airbag.
Yes, absolutely. That's a key point. So I've been really impressed. They do have, this one definitely has a bungee. You've got an option to put round your ankle. And does that one have it?
This doesn't have a bungee.
Doesn't have a bungee.
Have a bungee.
I found that I don't need the bungee at all to get in and out. And actually, I've also found the bungee gets in the way a bit. So it'd be ironic, because you know that from some of our other videos, I've talked about how it's great is to have a bungee to get your foot in with some pods. But as it happens, I found them very good to get in. Every time it's been, and even with some quite tricky takeoffs. Then how about getting back into the harness?
Once you've taken off, sitting back into the harness, I found this really easy. The material that it's made of is quite smooth and slidey, so you tend to just slip straight back into the harness really easily with this one. That's what I found.
I think I found as well, and I think we're both naturally doing it, as you get back into the harness, you naturally get your foot back, and I'm making sure that I get my foot back onto the plate and not putting too much force, particularly with that one, on where the flaps come together, because I think that's how light harnesses can get damaged. So I don't know, are you finding that? Because I found, and if I do that as well, that just means as I push back, that also means that it pushes me back into the seat better.
I think that what you mentioned there is lightweight harnesses in general, and just looking after a lightweight harness. If you've got a full fat harness, and you kick your legs out and kick yourself back in, it kind of doesn't matter. It's made of robust stuff. So what you just mentioned there is just a good example of, it's a lightweight harness, and these are ways that you look after your harness. When you get back into it, you're going to place your foot onto the board and step back into it, and it works well when you do that. If you're a bit haphazard with where you put your feet and trying to throw yourself back in, it's not as great.
Considering that the standard version Range X-Alps weighs 2 kilos, which is still very light, it is surprisingly, for that weight, robust and durable. But I still think that being realistic about it, it still needs a good amount of care, and more so than a heavier harness with heavier materials.
Yeah.
And again, and I think we're just naturally doing that stuff to make sure that we take off, we get in a good position for takeoff. You go and you get a foot back. And I think if somebody's kind of not getting such a good position, gets back and then tries to just use force to shove them back in the harness, then I think I totally agree with Liam. I think basically this kit's not for you. Because you're going to damage it, and then don't blame the kit, it's your technique.
Yeah, if you look after it, it will last. The previous harness that I had lasted me 3 years, still in fantastic condition.
Yeah. You've done a lot of hours on that as well.
A lot of hours in a lot of in a lot of rocky places and stuff. So one thought on this one was that if you've had a lightweight harness before, I think you could get on well with this. If you hadn't had a lightweight pod harness before, maybe lean towards this one. You know what you think about that?
Totally agree with that. I think that's a really very good point. I agree that the Range X-Alps would be a much more suitable. And it is suitable as a first pod, the standard Range X-Alps 3. I'd say that is suitable as it.
So the comfort on this one, I found this a little, maybe 15 to 20% more comfortable than the X-Alps 2. It's a slightly bigger setup for your legs and your bum and your back. I found it very comfortable. We had some sort of longish flights and didn't struggle at all. Found it perfectly comfortable. It's not a big cross-country harness. There is elements of, it's a little bit bony. But it's for what it is. It's a very comfy, very, very comfy harness. I didn't struggle with it at all.
So what do you feel like is the difference? So when you fly with this harness, the Range X-Alps 3, how did you feel what the difference was between those two? Yeah,
incredibly similar. It is slightly more comfortable because there's a little bit more there. There's a little bit more sort of padding in the seat. The seat's a little bit longer, a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. This one, still very comfortable over long flights, short flights. And it's a little bit more, it hugs your hips a little bit more. They're incredibly comfortable harnesses for what they are. Slightly more comfortable, slightly less comfortable, but you'd expect that, I think.
Yeah, as you said, there's just a little bit more, you feel the harness a little bit more on that one, on the sides, and a little bit more, the bony bit, I think, is kind of like you feel the straps a little bit more.
Yeah.
But only a little bit. I'd still say that the comfort of the AV version of the Range X-Alps is slightly better than this upper Alp, which I've got over there. It's that you feel the straps just a little bit more, even though that's 1.6 kilos, but that's because it's got the whole full envelope thing on it. And that has a performance advantage. Right, so you said about getting out.
Yeah, so flying the harness, eventually you're going to want to get out the harness. Landing, getting out the harness, again, no problems at all really. The seat's quite slidey, so you can slide forward quite easily. Your feet can find the gaps and you can get out of the pod quite easily. And then, you're going to lean forwards. Yeah, how did you find it?
Yeah, I find that they're really good. I mean, generally I have to say, getting out of a pod, it's rare that there's kind of like a problem with that. If you kind of try and shove your foot out, what happens is, and then you go to get out, how do I explain this? Then your other knee ends up caught on the flap.
Yeah.
And kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. So you just need to do that thing where you kind of like bend your legs in a bit.
Just let a bit of air into it.
Opens the gap. And then I find I do that a little bit. I don't need to do it, but it just works better.
Yeah.
And to get out. And then I have a really clean exit from it.
Yeah.
Did you find that? Or is it just my knobbly knees?
I think it's your knobbly knees. I didn't find that quite so much.
No, I found it really good. It's just something I did notice. And with both of these harnesses, I just had a thing where I was getting out, and I've done lots of takeoffs and landings. You know me, I like to run and leap about.
Yeah.
But I just found that sometimes it worked better if I just did that, and I'd often have one knee still behind a flap and just move that out. Does anyone else find that, or was it just me?
It's like an Elvis move.
Yes, that's it.
Elvis move.
Let's talk a bit about that bag. I'm going to cover the the Skywalk backpack because that's made to go with the AV harness. It's the Ultra X-Alps backpack, 55 litres.
Yeah.
And how's that to use? And you've got to use it in anger.
Yeah, it's a fantastic bag. It's incredibly small, so you're not going to fit anything other than really, really lightweight kit in it. And I describe this bag as a fast racing bag if you've got a supporter and you're not carrying too much stuff, because you can't fit a lot of stuff in there. You can fit your water, your poles, a little bit of clothing and your devices, but that's really about it. What's really good is the shoulder straps. These kind of design have come from running vests, like ultra marathon running vests, and you're starting to see it now a lot with these bags.
I think they're fantastic. Really
incredibly comfortable. They shift all the weight onto your chest, and they allow you to, if you can't run with a bag like this, they allow you to sort of shuffle and move quicker. Just with those alone, they're really, really good. Not a lot of pockets on these. You can fit your water in there. It's incredibly comfortable, incredibly light. This is a fast, lightweight bag, but you're not going to fit a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, so it's 55 litres, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I tried fitting the standard weight Range X-Alps 3, even with an ultralight wing. So in here I've got the Range X-Alps, the standard one with a Supair Wild 2. So that's an ultralight D-wing, similar to Liam's Theolite. And it doesn't fit, basically, even with that. So you really need super ultralight harness with an inflatable protector that goes completely flat.
Yeah, that's a good point. Inflatable. Yeah, you could get a foam protector in there, but I think this is specifically designed for the X-Alps athlete version harness, which is an inflatable harness, and it fits well.
Absolutely perfect pairing, aren't they? The harness with that backpack. Yeah, that's a pretty sexy combination, I reckon.
It's fantastic. Slightly different on here. You've got a sort of angled zip, which is good. I'm not sure about the angled zip. It does sort of twist.
Paul Gutterbell's angled zip. Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
Controversy. Come on, tell us about the zip.
Sorry, Paul. I think the idea is that it makes it easier to put the kit or to do the zip up when it's tight. You've got to be careful, I think, with this bit and make sure it's done up. Personal choice, I prefer a zip that's just straight up. I don't. You put the kit in and it tends to twist in the bag with that, but I mean, you get used to it. I'm sure it's fine. They get on fine with it. So but
I have noticed some other bags have that angled zip and things like that, or a zip on the asymmetric, and I'm like, I personally prefer the zip right in the middle, or this kind of design with a zip that goes around like that. I like that as well, but it's just a slight difference.
But what it is doing is
it's not a deal breaker.
No, it forces you to keep it really compact and really tight, and when that's on your back, it's compact and it's tight and therefore comfortable. There's no frame in these bags, like a backpacking, hiking backpack with a metal frame in it. You don't get it with these bags because you want to pack them up. So the rigidity comes from a tight pack, getting the right size bag for your kit so that it packs up tight, and then it'll be comfier to wear.
Just to pack it in there. Just to give an idea of how small it packs. There are different ways to pack it up. That's one way to do it, and you get it down
pretty small.
I can't remember. It's a bit over 400 grams, isn't it, or something like that? The backpack. Very light. But please, if you've got normal size kit, don't buy this bag. It's not going to fit in there. You'll barely fit the glider in there. Never mind the glider and the harness. I've got the Skywalk Range X-Alps 3 standard version, and that's the AV. And in the middle of it, I've got a competitor, the Supair Alp, to give an example. So the Range X-Alps 3, that's about 2 kilos. And that's got both the range harnesses have a kind of mid sort of tail fairing, don't they? Mid sort of size tail fairing. They don't have the full envelope. Yeah. And the Alp has a full envelope. It's like a ultralight, it's submarine type thing. and we've seen these featured quite heavily in the latest X-Alps, didn't we?
Yeah.
They seem to have come in, and lots of pilots are using those.
Yeah.
And just to give an idea of the difference in sizes, and yes, I just wanted to show that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the difference in the features. I will say that one key thing I'll say is that without a doubt, if you were going to prioritize performance and get the best performance for a pretty light 1.6 kilos, then I do think that I am convinced, having tested them a lot, that these super long tail fairing harnesses do have an edge in performance. However, that comes with some faff and extra faff, and also obviously then having the envelope and that adds a bit of extra weight. That's why that's 1.6, despite being the construction of the Alp is very similar to the AV version in terms of its lines, and very, very minimalist. So I think they really tried to make the ultimate, real high performance harness as light as possible. Whereas the Range X-Alps, that's very much the standard version, is made to be a kind of, for a lot of pilots, it will be an everyday harness, isn't it?
Yeah.
But now we're going to go and bring these two in. Right, let's whip them out of the bag. So they're the standard Range X-Alps comes with this Skywalk inflation bag included. The AV version comes with a nice little bag in it, but Liam doesn't have that with him.
It's in the car. I left it in the car.
It's not an inflation bag, and I do wonder if Skywalk could have made that an inflation bag as well. You're considering, aren't you, getting one of these, aren't you? You're thinking about it?
Maybe.
You've got your other bag.
What they supply you with is the this little gizmo. If you see that, if you blow up your airbag with this, it stops moisture going into your airbag. Therefore, it lasts longer.
It's got a filter in it, which is a nice idea.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at some details, like so I think the kind of shape of the harness and how aerodynamic they are. In the air, the profile, they look very similar.
Very, very similar. You probably struggle to see or measure any difference in the in the profile. Very, very similar.
Yeah, so they're very similar kind of general idea.
Subtle difference, obviously, with the material, thinner with this one, but
there's quite a difference, I think, when you look at the speed bag material, and I just feel the weight of that. That's quite a bit thinner.
Yeah,
than that, I think.
Yeah, a little bit thinner. Everything on this is a little bit thinner.
Yeah,
a little bit thinner.
And then the cockpit. So this has got that's the desk. That's an add-on.
Yeah.
It's a bit different, isn't it?
Slightly different Velcro. I've found that this isn't very sticky.
Get them both in the sun, yeah. So they're slightly different. Yes, that's true. That looks like that other kind of, it's a different kind of Velcro stuff, isn't it? Yeah, this one's got more grippy stuff on it. Yeah. Slight difference.
Yeah.
And the cockpit, this is a little bit bigger, isn't it?
Yeah, subtly bigger. Yeah.
So in there, we've got the Skywalk Tapper X-Alps 105, which is about, if you're wanting sort of that sort of size up to 105, that's the smallest, lightest reserve there is.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty tight fit in there, isn't it?
It's a snug fit. You're not going to fit a standard size reserve in there, not a chance. So you're going to want a lightweight Tapper X-Alps or a Gin UL or something along those lines to fit in there.
Something pretty similar, yeah. One of the reserves that, if you've got one of the reserves that kind of pretends to be light, but then isn't really light, that is going to not fit in here, or it'd be really tight at best or not fit. You can see here, we've got actually the same reserve in here. So I've also got a Tapper X-Alps 105 in here. And you can see there's a bit of bagginess. There's a little bit of space there. So this could hold a bit more. Somebody asked me earlier today if you could fit Beamer 3 standard in this 100. I think that'll be a really tight fit. So I don't think so. I think the light version, Beamer 3 Light 100, if you wanted that, would fit in there.
Yeah.
But I think that would be pretty tight.
Yeah.
But I do think for me, like having a front mount, it really makes me favour having a lighter reserve even more, because when you're on the ground, you've got this lump in front of you.
Yeah, you have this weight balanced in front of you. So yeah, I'm a big fan of having a reserve in front of you. I think that's the right place for a reserve. Sort of difference with this one from the older model harness is it's on that side. It's when you pack this away, the old one, it would sort of crush the handle, so it ends up kind of folded in and flat. So it's not as grabbable. This is going to stay, stay that shape throughout its life.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
You can reach with this hand, but you're naturally going to use this hand.
Also, the reserve bridles on both of these go round the right hand side, isn't it? I wonder a little bit with that front mount deployment thing. There's a thing that, if it's in the front mount, you can deploy it with either hand. And yes, if you really were completely stuck, that's true. But the fact is that the bridle goes round this side. It's only when you have a reserve system that's attached to your carabiners, then that's really an ambidextrous system where you could literally throw it with either hand. But when you've got the bridle running round, which of course you need to if you're going to have it attached to the shoulder straps, then I think pretty much a right hand deployment, in my opinion. But of course, if you have the reserve attached to the carabiners, then you're going to come down on your back. Whereas this, I do personally prefer having the reserve attached to the shoulders. So then it brings you down with your legs down.
Feet first. That's the way to go.
On the back of the cockpit. So what have you got there?
Pretty basic here. There's no pocket there.
No pocket.
No pocket there.
So on the standard version, there's a pocket which is quite generous for you. You can put your power bank or other stuff into there. It's quite good. Actually, I have to make a real comment. I think the storage on the Range X-Alps, the standard version, is really very, very generous. In fact, I managed to, because I wanted to test fly the wing with the Alp, the Supper Alp, and then swap and fly this harness and that harness as well. So we were kind of swapping. And I could quite easily fit, and I had a whole bunch of camera stuff, and I actually brought too much stuff to the hill, didn't I? But I could actually fit everything into this harness, in to the back and under the seat, and there's this pole pocket there, which Liam is very jealous of. He's quite envious of. This pocket.
They had this on the old version, and actually it is actually quite useful. But however, they have made the pocket at the back. This is a lot bigger than the old one, so you can fit your poles in there quite easily. But
the storage space in there is very good. But it's definitely, this one's like massive. It's really generous. The back pocket plus that, plus the foot plate pocket really there. Good. I will mention that one thing you do need to remember to do this up, because otherwise it doesn't inflate properly. The same, there was another harness I was testing the other day, the same thing happened there. Plus, this pocket. So that's got a pocket under the seat as well, hasn't it? But this one is significantly larger.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's very large.
It's huge.
It's
fairly. This one's the same as the X-Alps 2, same sort of size.
Another point I really want to make that I'm really impressed by, because you might have noticed in some of my other reviews with harnesses, I've mentioned about that they have a pocket in the back, but if you actually fill it up, then it like pushes you out of the seat and makes it uncomfortable, and then makes it difficult to get into the pod. And I have to say that these harnesses highlight when you do it right, because I can completely fill this pocket up. I mean, not getting completely stupid about it, and it doesn't affect the comfort.
No.
Hardly, if at all. It's really good. Plus filling the back with it, and also filling the bottom pocket up. The only one thing I will mention is if you really fill that up, the speed system catches a little bit on it, but it's not a problem. It's just something you notice. But it's no problem.
Put soft items in there. And then it won't catch so much on your speed bar.
If you fill that up with soft stuff.
Same with this one. It can catch.
Fill the same thing there. If you found that if you fill this nicely up, not overfill it, but fill it up, then it actually slightly adds to your comfort.
Adds to the comfort,
But the key point I was making about, I had an excessive amount of stuff, and I put extra cameras and other weighty stuff all in the back of the thing, and it didn't mess up my angular dangle. That's got to be big thumbs up to the design again. They've really thought about the fact that, especially that this harness is made with Volviv in mind, and quite sort of big, doing proper Volviv with this one.
You can fit a lot in that harness. To be fair,
and it doesn't mess up your geometry. I did notice that actually it's got a slight favouring with this harness, I found, with my morphology, that I had it slightly tends to sit a little bit toe down. So actually it worked really well putting stuff in the back, but only a little bit. That was just a small thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to put, for example, what I definitely wouldn't do is you don't want to put anything heavy in there. And that should be obvious, hopefully. Yeah. But just to mention that, if you put something heavy in there, if you fill that with, then that's going to definitely make you go more toe down.
Yeah. One thing I have seen done with the with that.
Yep.
You take this bag and then stick that through there.
For that, and so it's pre-inflated. So for me, having a bungee on there, having the option of that and somewhere you can connect it to, I think is still a really good idea, even though I found these both really get into. Very high quality carbon footplate, really nice smooth edges. There's rounded edges all the way around, no sharp edges at all, super smooth. So it's a smooth operator.
Little details like that that's going to make it last, isn't it? It's a lightweight, this is all very lightweight, but details like that makes it last.
Yeah. In the stitching here, you can see it is still, for this harness, it's not a big reinforced area, so it is definitely on the lighter weight side. This is not, some other pods have definitely like V-tabs and stuff more there. It's still it is a bit on the lighter side, but seems to last very well. We also noticed that the adjustment of the speed bag, they've made quite limited, haven't they? There's not like a big
I found
range of adjustment.
There's not it looks quite small. Like on this one, you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 knots, and it doesn't look like a lot. Actually, when I was sort of taking off and landing, I adjusted it and the full range and tried it out. And actually, there's quite a range on there when you test it. When I went all the way to the bottom, it was way too small. And then all the way to the top, I was, well, that's way too big. So you can feather it, and if you play with it, I think it doesn't look like a lot, but I find if you get your right size, medium or small, and then you can fine tune it with that. Well, that was okay. That was good.
Okay. I think certainly, well, I would say that I think the range and adjustment seems to be adequate. I think we're both, I certainly say we're both quite similar kind of size and shape.
Size, height,
and I think the harnesses do fit us rather well. Some people out there for choosing the size. I'm about 181 centimeters. I'm 80 kilos, and build is kind of medium slim. And you're fairly similar to that, aren't you?
Pretty similar. Same height. Similar weight, similar height.
Yeah.
And we've got these are a medium. They're both a medium harness.
Both medium, and they fit us really well.
Yeah.
Very important when you're choosing the size. It's the main factor is going to be your height.
Yeah.
And then after that, we also like to take people's when we're doing our match service to help people match up and get the right size. We then get them to not only give us their height and weight, but also their measurements of their back and their length of their leg, and then their sort of general build.
Yeah, a little bit of adjustment at the top, like with most harnesses. This one's the same. You've got a little bit of adjustment. This can be adjusted by selecting one of these 2 loops or not having any loop. We've got it in the middle, set in the middle for a medium and for our size. But there's quite a bit of adjustment there. You can adjust the height on that. Same both sides.
And on the standard one, you've got the more typical kind of system with there's webbing, and there's pull up to loosen and pull back down to tighten it up, and all kind of standard thing. So for the AV version, that comes with the chest deck included, slightly different one to this one, with adjustment, with a different adjustment system at the top, slightly different, but similar sort of idea.
Yeah.
And then for the standard Range X-Alps, they don't include the chest deck, and it's an add-on, but I really strongly recommend it. There's another bonus to it as well, but it's a removable flight deck panel. They've integrated the whole thing into one, which is what these generally do, and that does mean you've also got the option, if you like, to just if you're not like me and constantly changing harnesses and wings and everything else, but harnesses, then you could just leave your instruments and then use that to put them on there as well, which is another bonus of that.
This is the new version, the proper version, the serial version. This is what will come in your bag, I guess. You can adjust it like so. that's it really. Obviously zip in the top. You got another zip here. Put your batteries. Little hole for the cable out the bottom.
It shows that. Oh yeah.
Hole comes out the bottom.
Oh yeah, cool.
Velcro your phone on.
So when you're kind of really trying to push performance a bit more, when you're flying when it's windy, trying to push between thermals, we've had some really nice cross-country flights and stuff, haven't we? And then, but particularly on the days like today when it was quite breezy, and to make better progress upwind, I was going on to nearly full bar quite a lot, and then using the rear risers.
Yeah.
And then you really notice with some harnesses they start to kind of move around quite a bit more.
Yeah.
And in today's condition, I did notice the harness moving around a bit, but actually I was very impressed at the stability. It makes it very comfortable and also more efficient to keep like that. I was very impressed with that. How do you find it with the AV version?
When you push on bar with this, with some harnesses, you feel the sort of that area of the webbing on the harness pushes and digs into your back. With this, you can't really feel where the speed bar is on the pulley. It's obviously the weight's spread around really quite nicely. So you push on bar and it's it's not a really easy soft speed system. It's a lightweight system, but it's fine. I thought it was good. It's comfortable, and like you say, when you're on bar, the whole harness sort of hugs you and feels pretty solid.
It's definitely quite a difference. So with the Range X-Alps, they've both got pros and cons, I think, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely.
So the Range X-Alps, so you've got the system where you can take everything out, put shoulder straps on, and then clip in. It's a pretty good system, really nice system for clipping in. These it's pass-through buckles, and I find them a little bit fiddly. But you just need to make sure you get them in the angle and then sort of push them in. I have known some buckles to be a little bit easier to use, but that's just a very minor niggle. But the most important thing is they don't come undone. So there's that. And this system, we both agreed, it's just a little bit more. So you end up doing the two-way strap.
Yeah.
And then this part here, they've got the safety system where you pass this loop through here.
Yeah.
You've got a strap on the T-bar that you pass through to put through that like that. So there's that. So that's the forget-me-not system to make sure. So it means that you can't close the cockpit without having something that's going to stop you falling out of the harness. So for me, although it's got that little extra bit of complication, just being able to put the shoulder straps on and then do my leg straps on, I find is like really easy and simple.
Yeah, it's comfier. You're not going to trip over on launch. And it's a slightly more gentlemanly way of getting into a harness, isn't it?
And then you talk about that one.
So whereas this one is a step through harness. So there's no buckles. You just step through the string. The way to do it is to have it on the ground. And to just gently lift these up and put your feet through, otherwise you will fall over on your bum. But yeah, there's no buckles to forget to do up, which can be done. I've put my hands up. I have inflated a wing on my previous harness and not done the buckles up.
Me too.
So and again, to have something that's really simple, something that is safer, I think is a really good thing for this harness. It's a simple hike and fly harness that's going to be safer because you're not going to forget that. Obviously different to that one. It's fairly straightforward to use. When I started using this, I found it, maybe it's a bit fiddly, maybe it's a bit takes a little bit long. But actually, once you've used that a handful of times,
that was very quick. That's quicker than I'm doing.
It's once you've used it a handful of times, there's a knack to it, and you can undo it fairly quickly. It's not bad, and it's solid. That's not going to come undone. With gloves on, maybe a little bit trickier.
So you'll tend to do that on and have your gloves to the side, but that's normal.
You could do that with gloves on. I don't see a problem if you've got sort of summer gloves. You can do that up, and that's it. Once you've done this up, your speed bag. That's about it. And your zip.
And they're both actually similar. For doing the speed bag, you've got the left loop that goes here, to that side, and then you do the cockpit part, isn't it? So
Yeah.
like that. Okay, well, that's all for this review of the Skywalk Range X-Alps 3 and the AV version. And that's with me, Carlo from Flybubble.
And Liam from the Loft.
From the Loft. And well, we hope you've enjoyed this. If you've got any questions, anything that we've missed or anything you were unsure about, then stick a comment down below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!